Hi. What's going on? Fidelis here. What's up? Good afternoon. It's a Thursday afternoon. Warrior Solution. You know what it is? First of all, let me tell you this. I'm excited. I don't even know if you know why. But I start coaching today. Today I'll be going out there, picking up, new players. Man, I can't wait. It's going to be nice. But listen now. Today we are talking about life coaching. Okay, but I'm also gonna share my coaching philosophy. What my intentions are as a coach, what I look for in a player or in a human or whatnot. You know what I mean? So it's not all about the sport, but life. Because I'm one of those people who understands that life in general is, by the way, is a project. It's a project that requires management. So you have to manage life. Okay, what's up? What's going on? You know what it is? Okay, life coaching. Okay? Man, we have 112 players. I only need 18. So, it's going to be fun. Okay? But don't be nervous if you're showing up. Okay? But, so I want to share with you this. As a coach, particularly as a doctoral candidate pursuing project management, when I look at a player, a soccer player, for example, but this is in life generally, my intentions are safety first. Safety first, because safety is the number one priority for me. Because without that, then I don't really have a player. What am I going to do with an injured player? You know what I mean? So my number one priority is safety. Okay? Now, in relations to life, away from soccer, when we talk about safety, we talk about health. So if you talk about a life as a project, what are your safety mechanisms? Like when I say in soccer as a coach, my number one priority is safety of a player. Because I want to make sure the player is safe in order for me to use him appropriately, based on the team's needs. Or as I see fit. Okay? But now when you narrow it down to life in general, the safety aspect of things become health. The good health. You understand? But the next thing on top of that is fitness. Fitness and safety go together. Safety, fitness. And I say that because over the years as a coach, a player that is not fit is prone to injuries. Because the tendency is that you're playing under so much pressure. Because you're trying to meet your potential, but when you're not there because of the limiting factors that are brought about by safety. So fitness is very, very important. So in relations to life, fitness can still be regarded as safety. So, but fitness in this instance is mental fitness, emotional fitness. Not that you can always be emotionally fit, but just being able or being capable of managing your emotions, so that the emotions do not overrun your whole being, so that you're present and very much aware in whatever it is that you're trying to do. Okay? So next for me is teamwork. Teamwork is very crucial to a team's success. I think I am so big on teamwork, primarily because I'm a veteran. I'm a soldier. I comprehend the weight of teamwork. I comprehend how important teamwork is. I'm alive because of teamwork. So I don't work with people that don't comprehend teamwork. I don't work with players that don't comprehend teamwork. If those are one of your weaknesses, you don't know how to be a team, you don't know how to work with somebody else or whatnot, man, we're going to have a challenge. Now, this does not mean that you cannot do it all on your own. You can try, but not necessarily that it's going to be easy. But most chances are too that your ego is going to mislead you to thinking that you can carry the whole weight. I mean, even if you look at the best players on the planet, they can't really carry the weight on their own. They still have to have 10 other players to help contribute, you know. So it's all about teamwork. So in life, what's that like for you? Teamwork. Who do you have around you that helps you propel for the better? Who do you have around you that challenges you for the better? Who do you have around you that challenges your mental mind? Who do you have around that you can share your great ideas with and they can bring it to fruitful? Who do you have around that pushes you for the better, regardless of how you feel that one specific given time? Because you could be disrupted emotionally today and mentally, and then somebody else is going to think that's always who you are. No, it's just having a bad day. We see this every day. You will even see people like Messi having a bad day. One of those days he will show up and he's not playing to his potential. You know, what happened? That's one of the best players on the planet. What's going on? Well, because they're having a bad day. They are not aligned. There's no way they are aligned that time. When a player like that is performing badly like that, he's not aligned. He's not himself that moment. The problem is either he's mentally challenged one way or the other, or emotionally challenged one way or the other, or there's something within his surrounding that brought about that. So it's never when, he's at peace and confident in this decision making or whatnot. So think about it in that aspect of life. So for example, for me, it's not so much about taking a good player. Yeah, I want to work with the best of players out there. But what about getting a mediocre player and making him better? What about getting a player that is 80%, is 20% skillful, but 80% is not applying the psychology, the mental, the emotions. But it's all there. So, because if he's not applying, as though he's not fit or being able to fit that position or being able to fit that team, being able to fit within. But the focus is on the potential. The focus is on the work ethic. Once I notice a player has the potential, a player has the discipline, the work ethic, the fast touch, whatever all the qualities that I look for, I will take on that player. Because my intention is to make him better. To make him better as a player, but also to make him better as a man. To make him better outside the field. Life is not just about the field. Even though at that given time, my project is on the field. Okay, because that's the foundation. That's what brings me there. But beyond that, I want this player to be equally as good on the field as he is off the field. I want the same discipline, the same work ethic he applies on the soccer field. I want him to apply the same work ethic in his life so that he can succeed in school. He can succeed in his work doing. Somebody keeps calling me, I don't know who, and on Facebook Live, and they know I'm live. And I know this has nothing to do with what we are talking about. So, listen. I want you to know this. Especially if you're an elder, especially if you're a parent, especially if you're a coach, especially if you're somebody who is older, somebody with integrity, somebody with leadership, somebody with managerial aspects of things, right? What are your coaching mechanisms? How do you focus on whoever you're coaching, whether it's about life or a sport? Okay? Because how are you helping that individual to grow out of their own way, to grow out of the aspect of them allowing their emotions to hold them or to keep them from progressing, right? Or what about a player that lacks confidence but is so skillful but he doesn't even know how to speak up? What about a player that is so skillful but he has poor decision making? Where are you with this? Do you pay attention to all of that? Like that's what works for me. Like I pay attention to a player's overall quality. Yeah, I've picked you as my player. Now I believe in your potential as a soccer player. Now I want to see what qualities do you have as a team, a teammate. What qualities do you have as a leader within a team? How do I choose my captains? Who takes time to delegate? Who takes time to take leadership? Who takes time to guide a player that is struggling while I'm away? Because I believe that what counts the most is what you do in a coach's absence. Right? So, but this applies to life as well. The discipline of life. You know, the same way we have that discipline in playing the game. You know, you show up, you train. You train and you train to know for sure that you're fit enough to play the game of soccer or whatever the sport it is. How come you cannot apply the same discipline in life? Why must it have to be pick and choose? You know, because you love soccer, therefore you're just going to work hard and extremely hard about soccer, but then you don't want to apply in other areas of your life, like school, for example. I talk about school because the majority of, you know, people that are playing sports are usually also in schools or whatnot, you know, for the age group that I coach at least. So there are also those that are working. You in workplaces. You know, how do you interact with the new environment that you show up to work? Especially now, summertime is coming. A lot of graduates are out there looking for jobs and they will be going out there to work. You know, how do you interact with your managers? How do you interact with your colleagues within the workplace? How well do you understand your role? So, I often ask players this. You know, when you're on the field and you're assigned a position, you chose a position you're playing, that's your job. You have to understand the role of that position. If you're a goalkeeper, you have to have the understanding of what it takes to be a goalkeeper. You know, the role, so that you don't touch the ball outside the 18-yard box. You know that's a handball out there. That's no longer your perimeter. You do no longer have the same freedoms you have inside the 18-yard box. 18-yard box, for those who don't know, if you ever watch soccer or football, we call it in Africa, where I come from, football. I still call it football to date. You know, so where I come from, you know, playing the game of football, what's the support system like in that environment for you? What are the challenges in terms of like teaching to get better? Who motivates you? By the way, I have to say this in terms of motivation. I run into so many players, and this is so much about life too. I run into so many players who forget who they are or have no intentions of discovering who they are because they are lost in trying to be somebody else. They are lost in trying to be another player. I want you to think of this. That player that you're striving so much to be like him, there was a time in his life that he was trying so hard, to work so hard to be himself. And now he's at the point where he succeeded because he is who he is. I think the intentions must be this. You are supposed to use that player that you look up to, or is a hero to you, or is an idol to you, has an inspiration, not to be like him. You have to try to be an inspiration, to get motivation from that player. And then work twice as hard or even 3 times as hard so you can be better than him. Not competing with him, but competing with yourself. Because once you set yourself that standard, you know, having a mirror of your best player and with his qualities. So you have to use him as your inspiration to get you better. But you cannot play wanting to be exactly like him. Because then that is no longer going to give you the ability to dig out your own talents, your own skill sets, your own abilities, whatever that is burning from inside you. You know, like when I played soccer, for example, I would come up with like different moves here and there. Right here in Wesley Chapel, and every kid would be like, oh, that's such and such a player's move. Oh, that's such and such a player's move. And then it's like, but what happens to my night times when I was practicing this move to perfect it? What happens to my young days when I was a baby before even watching this football on TV or whatnot growing up in Africa? I never seen none of that on TV. It's the same move I had growing up. Now you're telling me because somebody's doing it on TV, you're calling it, oh, that's his move. No, it's me. Because I am my own person. The way I dribble has nothing to do with the way anybody else dribbles, because that dance is my dance. That's music to me, football. You know, I connect with it like, man, that's, you know, with that love. So where are you with that? How much of that do you have? You know? And then, most importantly, how much of your emotions are enabling you to play? How much of your emotions are in the way of your progress with life? How much of your emotions do you just allow to disrupt your whole humanity? You know, human emotions. Do you know that's a big factor? That's a very, very big factor that contributes to failure in most aspects of life. You know, when you don't pay attention to your emotions, emotions will disrupt your movement. You know, if you see good players on the field, that day if they're not connecting well with emotionally and they are disrupted, man, they are not themselves. I mean, I'm sure there are times when you have seen a player and like, oh my goodness, what happened today? Oh, what's going on today? You know, I see that as a coach. You know, I even call a player on the side, what's going on? And the player will be like, oh man, you know, psychology. Psychology. So, as much as you may have that 20% skill set, man, the focus needs to be on the 80%. You know, the 80%, the psychology, that's what matters the most. That's where decision making come to play. You know, that's when you don't get to play under pressure. I don't understand when players play under pressure. Why are you playing under pressure? You're the decision maker. You have it in here. Nobody can sit there to know what you're going to do next. Confidence, confidence, confidence. But by the way, that's what it's about too in life. Confidence. You have to be confident with your life. You have to be confident with your decision making. You can't make decisions recklessly. You know, why make decisions doubtfully? You know, if you're doubting, that means there's something wrong. That means you're not equipped. That means that you have allowed a channel somewhere. You have left something open. Safety. You remember we talked about safety? That means you're no longer safe to the core. You know, that's how doubtfulness works. See, there's like together like this. And then you leave a little hole, doubtfulness sneaks in. That's no longer safe. When we talk about safety, when we talk about, you know, safety, that's what we talk about. When we talk about confidence, we talk about it, the aspect of, you know, fitness. When you're fit as a player, you are going to enjoy the game. You play it safely, you will enjoy it because your emotions are present. Your awareness is present. Your confidence comes back. Okay? And then you will enjoy everybody else around you. When you're not fit, you're going to play with pressure. You're going to play with anxiety. You're going to play with doubtfulness. You're going to play with lack of confidence. And then out of that, because you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust your teammates. And then guess what? You're now the weakest link of the team, regardless of how strong or physically fit you are. It's not all about that. But bring that same example and experiences to life. Life as we know it. Because life is exactly in that way. What's the team like around you? How are you growing safely? Okay? How have you mentored yourself to have the right set of support system? Or whatnot? Okay? But, you know, that's what works. That's what works for me. Today I'm out here, man. I'm excited, man. I need 18 players. 18 players better show up. You know, by the end of today, I have to have at least 80% of my players. First day of tryout, 80-90%. Today is happening. So better show up day one ready to play the game. Okay? Whatever it is, I wish you all the best. Okay? But life coaching and coaching, you know, this was life coaching, but coaching the game of soccer in relations to life itself. Okay? So don't just think that what you do on the field is all that needs to be done only on the field. It can apply anywhere in life, in all aspects of life. Okay? So be aware, pay attention, enjoy yourself, enjoy life, enjoy your teammates, your friends, family, or whatnot. Okay? It's been lovely. My love.